Wow, that's a nice fish.
Good job, brother.
Oh man, great.
My buddy.
Doesn't get any better than this, does it?
That is it.
When you get a fish on down in Louisiana,
Whoa.
and it pulls a boat along like that, they call it a Cajun sleigh ride. It's funny. Man, pink worm, go get them.
Man, that is so awesome.
Who would have thunk it there?
Right back she goes. Good for you. They're in shallow water, Jackie, but I think they're in the shallow water that's adjacent to the deep water. I think that's the trick. We got back in that flat, and I did hook one big one back there, and you had that one blow up, but
Yeah.
there's like 5, 6 big fish right here in this one stretch. That's pretty awesome. Hey, today we're headed back to Alabama. Gonna get in our little pro angler Hobies, and we're putting the puzzle together. You know, aside from fishing out of the kayaks and having a hoot doing it with the Mirage Drive where we're pedaling, we're also putting a piece of the puzzle together. These fish are changing every day because the water is warming up and we're in the spring of the year and a lot of things happen. So we're putting that puzzle together. It's gonna be a fun show today. We're gonna join Jackie and the gang. It's gonna be a hoot. Stay with me. I'm Hank Parker. You know, Jackie, one of the biggest improvements, I think, I know they've changed the Mirage Drive, and that's something they've worked on continuously. It's gotten better and better. But the seats, these, I can adjust them and change them. I can get upright, I can lean back, I can change the lumbar support, I can move them. I stay all day long with no problem. Whereas in the old seats, they were more like a real kayak seat where you really sat down in the boat just on a cushion, more or less.
Yeah, I think everybody recognizes that, Hank, and you're right. It's so obvious because you can, a little bit of difference you make as far as adjusting the thing up or down and back. It makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Well, I didn't like the way you said it was so obvious. You make me sound like I'm a big dummy or something by bringing it up.
Well, that's another subject for another time.
At all, Jackie. That was ugly. It's so obvious, Hank. I can't believe you even brought that up. Everybody recognizes that. Are you stupid or something?
Well, anybody who's been in the old seat and been in the new seat.
Okay, now.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you look.
Yeah,
anyway.
you really offended me. I'm deeply offended.
Yeah, I can tell you got your lips run out.
I got it out bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in front of you now and try to catch another fish.
Yeah, well, keep on moving down the road there.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the experience in a Hobie pro angler is better with a cat hat or a ball cap?
You know, I haven't come to that conclusion, but I'm going through the hats now, and I'll let you know.
Well, I deeply appreciate it. You look good, my brother.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I know I do. Only outweighed by my extreme modesty.
I'm going back to the shade. You can have all these sunny banks.
I'm gonna wear this pink worm out again.
Uh-oh, another big one. Ah! That was another big one.
Another. Oh. Feisty. Come on now, bud. Come on in here. Another one.
I had that big fish that I let get off on a while ago. I'm gonna turn around and go back. You know, a couple of years ago, I was introduced to a jig and a pig, a jig and pork rind by one of the world's greatest fishermen in the history of the world, is Bobby Murray, won the very first Bassmaster Classic. He introduced me to a live rubber jig with a pork frog on the back, and it emulated a crawfish. I think we have lost, for the most part, our shade. Try something different. Well, today, there are so many soft plastic crawfish baits. I love to fish a jig, but for me, when the water temperature gets 65 to 70 degrees, I prefer a soft plastic like a chigger crawl. This is a crazy leg chigger crawl. One of my favorite is a Pit Boss. I prefer in clear water a Pit Boss or a chigger crawl in most cases over a jig. Now I will tell you, nothing catches a big fish like a jig, but you can use a Pit Boss or a chigger crawl and immolate that crawfish to a T, and I think for the most part, you'll increase your numbers considerably in warmer water fishing the soft plastic crawfish versus fishing a jig. What a fish. What a fish. Look at that big dog. Phew. Jackie, I'm 62 years old, and every morning when I wake up, the first thought that goes through my head, oh boy, no school today.
Well, you know what? You and I are similar in our occupations. All that we did was play. You know?
That's a bad thing. That dang job. There's a big fish. What a toad. Look at that. You know what Maynard G. Crabbe used to say, don't you? Work!
Work.
This is crazy. We're fishing this lake, and this one point right here has produced 3 of these fish. This fish right here will weigh probably, I don't know what that fish will weigh, probably 8 pounds. Do it, Jackie, do it.
Doggone it, now I know that was a fish. Hey. Something moving it.
He is a big son of a gun, boy. I mean, he's a big one.
But I didn't cast out here.
I'm gonna try to get him around there where you can see him. Look at that thing.
Maybe another branch.
Well, that is a long fish there. Hey, don't go away. We finally figured these fish out, so we'll be right back. How about lipping for me, buddy? Aren't you in the NFL Hall of Fame? You guys are bad to the bone. Come here and lip this snapping turtle for me.
I'm sure you're acquainted with their behavior more than I am.
Oh, he spit it out. Now I got him by the hand. He's holding it. Look at that. He had it in his mouth. Now he got it by his hand. I didn't want to lift him.
This portion of Hank's Show is brought to you by Berkeley. Catch more fish. Yeti coolers, built for the wild.
Good stuff right there now. There's a little trick to catching these fish. There's a big fish.
Oh, gee.
The little trick is to kind of swim that little Pit Boss. Oh, come on out. When you get it in the area you think he may be, just shake it. Still on there. Be very, very deliberate. Almost if you're envisioning that fish on the bed. And so when you feel that kind of structure in, just kind of almost like you're laying that bait in that bed and being real deliberate with it. It's not one of these thump bites. It's just like you just go soft. You just pull up and it just goes soft, and there he is. You gonna come in and get a still shot? All right, come on. Got Hobie?
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't do much perfect stuff.
Hank's Show is made possible in part by Luz. Feel the difference. Sunsect, insect repellent plus sunscreen combined into one great product. And by Minn Kota. And Talon.
About those spinner bugs. Now we talk about how stable the Hobies are. You gotta watch out for moss on rocks. That's real critical. Always watch before you step out of your boat to make sure that your footing is stable. But really, you know, they made right much sport of me over taking a bath in the Coosa River, but truthfully, I really wanted to display how well the Mustang life jacket worked. Hello, boys. And how it would deploy when it got wet.
How do you like my life jacket? It works.
And if you notice, it was up around holding my neck up. I had no problems. It's a demonstration that I felt necessary for the content of the show and to benefit you, the viewer.
Water cold.
So the whole key is not let anybody know you're gonna do that. Just keep it real quiet. Don't tell the crew, certainly don't tell your cameraman, and then fake it like you didn't mean to do it.
Hey,
Some good blooper stuff.
let me tell you something. The rock is slick.
It's a pretty good demonstration, would you agree? Well, what a scenic trip. This Coosa River is so absolutely beautiful. It's a little bit above flood stage, and we hit it at a really, really bad time. The spawn was on and the water rose, so it was really hard. You couldn't see the beds. The water had just a little too much color to see as deep as the fish were for all that rising water. But man, I love fishing there, and I want to go back. And that's part of the experience of fishing from a Hobie, is you enjoy the experience as much as the catching. Largemouth, that is a largemouth. That is a largemouth bass, and we're fishing for spotted bass. We caught a lot of fish on this trip, just a tremendous amount of fish, and I did enjoy that. But I enjoyed the Coosa River, even though we didn't catch near as many fish on the Coosa as we did on the lakes. I enjoyed the river as much as I did catching the fish. It was just beautiful. Going through those rapids, some of them made me nervous, you know, but hey, we had no problem at all. Pull my string. Spotted bass, I finally caught one. Coosa River spotted bass. Woo, and that was fun. I'm telling you, it was fun.
Hank's Show is brought to you in part by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Mercury Marine, #1 on the water.
I want you to look at a beautiful fish. Now that coloration on that Coosa River spotted bass is awesome. My first one ever. So I'm cherishing the moment. The first Coosa River spotted bass I've ever caught. Isn't it beautiful? Woo, I loved it. You ready?
Yeah.
Take off. Well, let's go. Go. You got me.
With the tie.
You got me. Jackie, this is about our 10th trip together.
Promise?
We spent a lot of days.
I hope that's just the start.
When you get my age, you might slow down, but until then, you're gonna be going wide open. You beat all I've ever seen. You're like a 57 Chevrolet, you get better every year. Crazy. Hey,
You a mess with yourself.
I'm telling you what, brother, I love you, and I appreciate you being up here with us today. We've had a great time, and you're a great guy, man. It's a privilege for me to call you a friend.
Well, I feel the same way.
Well,
you know, you get around people, as many people as you and I have been around, you know. You recognize good people off the bat pretty much, and so I always count you as a friend, no matter if you like it or not. Okay. I love it.
It's time to say goodbye to Jackie and all my good friends. I'd like to thank you folks for kindly joining in. That was kind of a sad time with the Beverly Hillbillies when they went off, and it's kind of a sad time to leave your buddies. Man, the show's over and we pack up, we come back home, and it's another year before we get to hook up. So it's kind of bittersweet. We had a great time. We caught a lot of fish and had fun. That is the main thing that I try to focus on about fishing, is have fun. I hope you had fun, because we had a ball. Man, I sure appreciate you watching, and we'll be back next week. God bless you. I'm Hank Parker.
And don't forget to visit us at hankparker.com, the place for tips, giveaways, and more.
The house needs painting, the grass needs mowing. Where's he at? Gone fishing.